Hi everyone, we're gonna do Anne Frank Part 3. It's Jen from Mind's Eye. And what we're going to see is this. Where we left off where she was in the attic and that there was a lot of radio frequency. And it was so bad that they had to sit in quiet, especially with the frequency and the hertz going through. It was almost like a game of a call out. So when that happened, you could understand why everyone would actually, in large numbers, be sent into the concentration camps. So when we look at it as a psychic, as a continuance on, and then she's showing me glimpses, you can't see it coming. I'm hearing her say in mediumship, but you can come and do a done. And then it would lead through on a loan of a bay. And then, like a milkshake or a treat would come through, and you would sit, and then you would come through, and then do, and then it would be a boo. It would be a ghost like. And then sitting in the attic, you couldn't see it through. So when we actually see it through, a kit and a do, a kit and a do. It was like a kit is a fox, a young fox. And when that comes through so hard, it makes it uh like sue, like sow and stew and strew, like an old, like a type of mouse, a shrew. And, like animals would come in. It was almost like they were testing cognition at times with this. So let's actually look at the decks on because there's something still in mediumship and as a psychic that needed to be. And we said probably it was going to take 4 videos. 4 videos. So with that being said, let's do. What do you need us to know about us? It basically is this. It really was like an attunement. It was quite derogatory, actually. And when you actually see it with the Father of Pentacles, with the Father of Cups, it was a type of a moneymaker game that actually would come through. And when it would come through, you couldn't even do at all, at all. So it really was a moneymaker when they would have these radios come through and they would be searching. And when I see the Ace of Wands, it was a fiery beginning. It definitely was a quick start. It really was a do, you would cry and then get it through. So when you see it, we have to say, what else do we have to say about Anne Frank? There's something about the diary. There's something about how the current events are playing out. That's how I am as drawn as a psychic, and I do my deep dives. So when I look at the Five of Pentacles, it was a type of loss of monetary value, obviously, on how it played out. But in the strength of it all was a type of weakness, they would say proper as an unbeknownst. And when I say the Four of Cups, it was something that was not to be um, like celebrated about, but really it was the devil in reverse. It was a type of addiction of everything. And then I see the Black Forest, and I see that there was something about it of what they used to call a castaway. It was something of a hidden motive of a linking around, we used to call it. And that's what I remember my grandparents saying. It was a linking around, Jennifer. So when I see this, and you have to excuse me because I haven't been very well lately, it was when I see the High Priestess in reverse, it really is hidden motives. And it reminds me a lot of the fun runs. the fun runs. Fun runs are like something that would just like pop up and it's illegal. It was a type of source when you see the Hierophant. So I'm looking at Anne and I'm seeing slough and I'm seeing slough and I'm seeing dew, like dewdrop, like a type of water, and then a well. But as when you read her diary and in the library or anywhere else that you go to the bookstore, you can see how it went through. So when we talked about her having a stick on her and having to sit and almost call out and sit there in an attic and a type of trolling, and we talked about how this year was almost like a theme coming through with a type of trolling. There it is. It's a type of recklessness when they start trolling and they start doing call outs a lot, especially the way that it's playing out in society, the type of imbalance that actually came in and through on a day to day, even to the cobblestone streets that she's showing me, is such an ace of swords in reverse of no logic of a dill pickle that you couldn't even understand the unfulfilled wishes that would come through when you would wake up and you have a wet bed at 17 years old and you don't understand why. The letter Y. So when we look at this, at the Ten of Pentacles, it was secure. Like a lot of them had securement. They had a lot of things. Everything was well. Everything dwelled well, as you can see in historical records. But what was pertinent about Anne Frank? So let's see. Well, who about Anne Frank wants to come forward in mediumship? It really was a lament way. A lament way. When I see it, I actually see like a whey protein drink, like a goat's milk. Mother of Pentacles in reverse goes, um, there's like a distraught of a dishonor of like a female energy that came in regarding her. And when I see it, I go, no. The Ten of Wands in reverse goes, you can't see it at all. At all. You can't even understand like the difficulty. And I hear pickup sticks. There's like a pickup sticks. When I actually go through and I see it hard, you can't do Six of Wands in reverse. There was no victory. Victory was spelled VIC, they're showing me, with a KTRIE. They want, yeah, I hear an interference all of a sudden of with a Y. There's something misspelled. The Seven of Swords comes in and says no. No, no, no. Now, with this, you have to say you can't even go anywhere near, anywhere near. And then the parents would say, why not? So, like we said, where was this leading into Auschwitz and then the concentration camps? Why is it so prevalent right now? So let's see. And that's the kind of look that she would get. She would just go, all of a sudden, it was a huge change. Now, with this, the 501s, it literally means like when I look at her shoe, she's showing me her shoe and the buckle and the laces to the nylons, which was normal. That is like broken, that's kicked up. It shouldn't have been kicked up because she was well off. Ace of Pentacles. Where was the monetary loss for Otto Frank? Oh, a car. It was in a car. That came in quick. The car, the cat, the coin, the gold. Almost like a road to perdition feeling. Driving down the road to work. And then he calls his wife and says, I'm known, I'm done. And they sit in the house and go about. So with that, the Son of Wands in reverse says it was such a reverse starter that you couldn't see it. And why would I say it was almost like a continuing education, a CE? What are they learning? What are they continuing to learn? Well, I can understand that. And they say that's too fast forward. That is the kind of conversations that she just showed me. They would just like, all of a sudden she would catch it, but she couldn't get it out. She would hear something, but couldn't get it out. Where is this going? This one is hard. This one is hard. Let's go a little harder of a deck. Let's see here. You couldn't even do a do. You couldn't even speak French. You couldn't do anything. Here it is. And now here is the Queen of Wands. Where do we need to know? What do you want us to know, Anne? What do you want us to know? Page of Swords. Haste. Quick. Offer on the table. Bread. Jewels. Ten of Wands in reverse. Inflict, inability to work, to do known, something kept secret. Power. Weak. Even low. Apathy. Stone. Hard. They would have been hard as rock with all that radio frequency, all the settings from the bombings to anything else around them, their elements. She's being sly and slinkish. Showing me the car again. Showing me the gold coin. Showing me a worm. Worm. Bread. Diamond. Cat. Hearing. They actually did like judicial at times in their house through the radio. They were not to approach court. I hear them do this, knocking it out of their mouth. No deal. No deal. No deal. Like plea deal. Ill contracts. Complete. Round the world. Chaos. Influx. Repeat. Repent. Repo. So basically what she's showing me is that as a psychic and through mediumship, you couldn't even get it done. It was a type of influx and influxed with a C that you couldn't get it done. So when I'm hearing Danish and I'm seeing Denmark and other places, I'm seeing done as like a type of he goes and it keeps getting right out. It's fleeting, fleeting. It's almost like a go about order. Like I'm seeing this and I'm seeing bank, and then they're like West Bank. It caused such pauses. That's why it took forever in World War. Forever. Unhappiness. What else do we need to do? Let's look at this. White sage. Now, when it came to the point that I'm seeing as it came through, you couldn't do whatsoever. Couldn't do whatsoever. Four of Swords meant no unrest. No unrest. No unrest. Ten of Pentacles goes, no, you can't do. It was security, you to, boo to, lu to, no to you. So when you actually propel forward with this to the Auschwitz lament, you couldn't understand everything that couldn't be due. So when as I'm talking like that, as a mimic out as a psychic, that's how they were. And the way that they would sit with such high like hard frequency that they would still understand exactly what I said. It basically sent in a type of gibberish to a known language back then that you're now being sentenced to Auschwitz due to the a fact of a remark of a do done to be done. It was something of ill contracts that they're showing about World War that multiple people had issues with, but I'm not seeing the complete story. And I do feel it's not meant to be known right now. But the Ten of Swords goes through, like it hurt to actually go through there, all of it. So the balance of this goes through, goes through. When you actually see misogyny with this emperor. And I say that a lot. Like, I don't know why I keep hearing misogyny when I keep saying the emperor, because it's getting like a repeat to her done, redone. Let's look. Can't even do it. Just can't even do it. It's almost like a block. But really, it had to do with something with the justice system, with the frequencies and the going throughs, and then the slew, and then the bread. And then when you break bread for war, and then and anything else. But also too, we had when you look through the whole diary of everything that you can't even understand how hard it is to actually do it. Because we talked about how a young girl was talking about her experiences with other females sexually. So, with that being said, we did talk about how Slew and then this milkshake was somehow linked on other issues that we talked about here in the deep dives and the look-ins about like a criminal ring that came through of sticking right to you and sticking right through you, that you couldn't even be reformed or have a break into the next life. So when we actually see it and we see the Knight of Wands, You go through it and you go, you can't do it. Ten of Cups. I hear regression was so high that you actually had to look at the criminal intent potential. And then it got to the point, because you have the magician card at the bottom of this deck of happiness with the family, but then with them being in the concentration camps and the way it all played out after, that you couldn't even see it coming more ways than one. So when you actually look at it, you have to say, sometimes waiting was best. C to a T. Now, let's look at the Gold Tarot. Is it a situation that, it got to the point of being such a staple order that you would rather go to prison because maybe they would understand you better? Because I see them all do this. Uh, you know, it is what it is. All right. Let's see. Who wants me on the wood table shuffling? Denmark be a boo. All right. Quite unhappiness, pent up. I see the star, the pentacle. I do see someone actually holding a sphere-like object to an obstacle, to an optical illusion of a lesson of a struggle, of a type of healing, but unhealing. I'm hearing healing of a digging of a heels across the wood, like dragging them out of the closet. The three of wands in reverse means they could not even see it coming. It was like they like still led. So that's why we're questioning, like, were they led out into the concentration camps? Was it a judicial ruling? Was it anything that was documented that we've seen in history? It was quite the journey to get started. But in reality, it was an ending of a partnership in many ways. They're showing me as a whole country ending a partnership during that time to the halt stop. What would cause that halt stop? I see a young lady, blonde hair, 27, element few, element few. A calling upon element few, DU. It's like a psychopath game. Reminds me of psychopath game. Figure it out. And it had money in it because that's the energy of the end of the shuffle. No conjure, no stir up, even to the point you can't even stir your soup. I see a lot of them do this, which is a lot of the faces. Like, reminds me a little bit of how the Crypt Bloods can be. Blood can make you do your face like that, and you don't even know it. You don't say no to it, you don't knock it out, and you don't KNOW it. It's meant to be a little bit of a mystery. So what else are we meant to know? What else are we meant to know? What else are we meant to know? I'm looking at like a couple individuals that they showed me in mediumship. It was a male and a female, and it was no shoe. I hear them no shoe, no boo, no goo, loo you out. And you would literally have almost dysentery. It was so easy for them that they were kind of the homebodies of a leave me alone couple. I do see a farm. I do see muck. I do see a ran down to a ransack of a run it down, and they ran it down to the point of a disarray where people were disarrayed. This is almost a bit of a black forest, but really I hear in England, but I hear of France also. But I also hear of Poland, and that's where a lot of people were. Now I don't hear Larry, but I do see the cigarette of a cup of coffee on a stone wall, of a talk of a lament coming through. Now, with the Six of Pentacles, there was no deal. There was no deal of an offering. She showed me kind of the beginning of World War. The Ten of Pentacles was unknown, unsown, unloan, unbone, ungone. But in reality, when you go to the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, there was an unsecurement of a monetary value of something that was a kickoff. Then I see a football of a punt. The Four of Swords is in like a time of rest. It was quiet. I'm seeing a 1922. Let's look at World War One as it surrounds Anne Frank. Fox showed me immediately. Fox. 7 of Wands. A whirlwind, and then it was pick up sticks. You would actually be out in the yard. No judgment. It was no judgment. Justice. I would see something like that. Hierophant. Righteous POS le mu le be. French for I'll hang you north of a fourth of a tree. That was there, and then how all the hangman in reverse comes out. So that is how dark World War One was. But there was something of checking of feet. Checking of feet. Now, with that being said, you couldn't even do luck. You couldn't even do luck. You couldn't even do boo. She's showing me she did see some of these individuals who did the kick up of the tick up of the World War, of the Black Forest, of the fun run, of the illegal black market, of everything, of the ill contracts there in the camps. It was known. She keeps showing me Lame Lamu Lama. You can't get a gaff. You can't get a gaff. A gaff is a type of cut to initiate through as a witch. So let's actually go to the Akashic Tarot. Let's go to the Akashic Tarot. What do you need us to know about the gaff and the cut in the closet and the diary? There was like when I see the split of the deck, the Ark of the Covenant comes in like this, and you see like a church, like a temple, like a makeshift temple. There is a box, there is a guarding. The Queen of Scrolls goes through in reverse. Loss of documents. They're showing me that there was a degree of something that came through in Europe, of storms, of a loss, to a degree of a conjure. All right, the master artisan, believe it or not, baker, a baker, a baker. You can't even boo it at all. A baker, I see a bread, a loaf of bread, artesian bread. And then all of a sudden you would meet someone. And then it was this, you could birth and reverse. You couldn't get anything done. Nothing could be new. Nothing could be sold. Like low business. And that's when the issues with Bonnie and Clyde came in. They really did a lot of satins, Bonnie and Clyde. You could not have children if they were around doing crime. Treasure in reverse. Gold coin, gold star. I don't know why she's showing me the ID. The new IDs. The new ideas. You can't reverse time. So when I'm seeing this, the sands of time, you say, go it gone. Come on, and what else? What else? Messengers. They were like people or things or voices that would come in that remind me of Appalachia before it all got started. You would hear your voice or someone's voice whispers. Again, unfulfilled wishes. Like, I'm not done yet. Archangel Gabriel, a war afoot, trench foot. Let's see. This one is hard. This one's very serious. This deep dive. What do you need us to know? This one. This one is the literary witches. The wall, the fortress. It is around the bend to be it known. Now, when you go around and you see the fortress, it is a guarding, it is a hard, but really, it is a hedgehog. When you see it and you go, no, don't do, you can't see it and you can't boo it. It's like a type of life that's small. Fate, which is hard to explain when you actually look it down to Anne Frank on how that was fate. And I see like Aaron going during that time, what'd you say? And that's how it was. It was like the whole community would rise up if they said something like that because they were so intuitive. They were so instinctive. They, to the point to like high intelligence, where the IQ was so good, like by 12 to 16 years old, you were just off on your own. It was easy. Especially, but it's a type of nostalgia that actually when you drink the milk, the milk's cow, the cow's milk, and that's how they would know something would be wrong. And it would really start with family, and then it would be lore, folklore to the fairies at a night of a going, of a spelunking at times to get free. Yeah, like you had to sneak out at night. Again, that's a halt stop. Again, the moon twice. Mystery. All right. Let's look. To end, I would say with this animal spirit and this. So, looking through a crystal quartz, all was gone. Like you would walk in and everything was gone. And it would be that accent. It was spelled Gone. But then you would blink and everything was there. It was a preview. It was like a preview. And then you would go about and you would go and lay down in your bed, but then they'd find you in the closet. And then you would go to school, but really you were down like 15 miles away. A lead out, a lead through. And then you would see the dog or the cat. And then all of a sudden you were right there, right to your demise. That was how fast everything was happening in criminal activity. But going back to the forest and everything of that, and I hear, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. It's a game. It's a game. A GA. They would speak a lot of Gaelic. A lot of Gaelic. I hear she's showing me Japan. A wishy-washy. Down the board. You could not do a ring around the posy. You could do a leprechaun dance to be a day. A DAE. Like the bomb of all bombs. It was what did they want? What did they want? And then a cough. A reverse of a charge in, so I'm seeing the fire ants in reverse. Nothing could come in like in like drones. No mastery, no skill with this lion in reverse. There was no rising from the ashes. It was like the fires were different. If you actually look at the conditions of the ash and the way it burned to where it point of the elk, there was no hunt. There was something about the animals and hunting. So, with that being said, with the owl in reverse, you can't even be owl in reverse. What do you want us to know about the owl in reverse? This one is a hard pull out. Don't even go there. I'm seeing the bone, the hollow bone. I see an all around look of who? Mastery and strength, known on a perch. But then I hear the word Perth, and that's all it wants us to know. This one was a little bit hard, a little bit more cryptic of what is actually relevant of today with Anne Frank, what she wants us to know. With that being said, that's all I have to say. Any likes, comments, or shares, go ahead and give us one. And then anything else, go ahead and send me an email. Other than that, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.